Here at a con for the first time, fans have wanted him on both the Return of the Jedi card back and also the A New Hope card back. So let's see what people think here. Who would want Chewbacca on his Return of the Jedi card back? Okay, I shouldn't do this because we've already decided, but who wants him on the A New Hope card back? Woo! All right, I heard some louder screams there. That's good because it will be on the A New Hope card back. So classic double bar Star Wars Kenner Chewbacca, very exciting reveal at Paris Comic-Con. You can talk about this if you want.
Definitely. So again, this is a great discussion we had over the phone with Patrick saying, a lot of our fans also want those key core characters coming into Europe. So based on the demand we've had in Europe, we've created a specific wave just for Europe with all the key core characters they can have at the same time. So for those who weren't able to collect these, we're bringing all of them, all of the big core characters for us, just for Europe, a specific way based on demands that we've had from our fans saying, I want this character or the other. So there you go, guys. You asked and we delivered.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, folks, this is the last thing before our new reveals. So digital content. This is actually cool. I like this. So we know that at Hasbro, we kind of have this proprietary information, historical information behind the scenes. We know that we've done some behind the scenes stuff in the past. At our London Comic-Con panel last year, we did a whole deep dive into behind the scenes on our Luke Skywalker Jedi Master Black Series figure. So we're going to be releasing some digital content later this fall that kind of pulls back the curtain both historically and behind the scenes. So we wanted to just share that with you right now. So first up, as an asset, again, kind of the cool thing about our Black Series and vintage figures is the dioramas that fans make and that we make. So this demonstrates some of our Black Series figures in their dioramic element. So we can see it right here. Or maybe we can't. Look at it again, maybe? There we go. Maybe a little more volume. So as mentioned, behind the scenes, so our next piece of content that we're putting out is a behind the scenes, what we're calling a screen to shelf of our Black Series Dewback creature that we released earlier this year. Take a look.
My favorite. I really like how you bring it from concept to product. You can see all the different stages there. It's really, really cool. And again, thank you for being here last year, showing to their fans here how you guys do it. I think it's a really cool video that shows that in a really, really fast way. And I really like how we're going to get more and more of this coming next year as well, right?
Absolutely. So our next two assets are, like I said, that historical look. This is kind of like TV shows that have come out recently, telling the history of certain toys. So our first one is a historical look at Star Wars speeder and swoop bike toys.
The FSNES swoop bike from Solo is the latest and greatest in this toy timeline, but we've actually done multiple versions of both speeders and swoop bikes. The first ever Kenner speeder bike came out in 1983 after the theatrical release of Return of the Jedi. The 90s saw the first swoop bike, inspired by Shadows of the Empire. This BARC speeder was repainted several times after Revenge of the Sith, and we updated the classic Imperial speeder bike for the Black Series. Both its unique design, incredible size, and movie-accurate details, the FSNES swoop bike sets a new standard.
And the same format for our Darth Vader helmets throughout the years. The daddy of them all.
The Black Series Darth Vader helmet is the latest edition of this toy timeline. But we didn't actually make a Vader helmet until the early 2000s. Designed using photos from the 1980 set, this version had an electronic chest box extension that played real movie phrases. The second version had that shinier Episode 3 gloss and housed all the electronics in the dome. The The 2018 Black Series helmet detaches into 4 pieces, has movie-accurate sound effects, and is the first ever with a fully decorated interior. This truly delivers the complete Darth Vader experience.
So again, fans at London Comic Con, you guys, this is the first place we're showing that content, which is very cool. You can check it out in our booth as well if you didn't get it all here, and we'll be coming out with more later. Alrighty. So, Urban mentioned this.
Finally.
You've been very patient. Who's ready for some London Comic Con exclusive reveals for the first time ever? There we go. Alrighty. We have 2 of them. They're both very exciting. First one will be in our vintage scale.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Alrighty, let's hear it. This one, classic character. Let me give you a little hint. This will be a bad impression, but that was terrible. All right, R2-D2. So this is what we like to call a smart repack. So we're putting R2-D2 onto a vintage card back for the very first time. He's never been on a vintage card back. We're using a modified Build-A-Droid sculpt, dedicating it to astromech form. He has a removable 3rd leg to provide alternate poses, 6 POA to provide different looks, and again, so that there's no confusion, R2-D2, the card back he is on, will be classic A New Hope. First 12 R2-D2. So, very exciting figure there. If you have any questions about him, feel free to jump up in our Q&A at the end. For our final reveal, I have a minute left. It's going to be our other scale. Black Series, I promised you another prequel figure to join General Grievous and Padme Amidala. Let me give you a little hint. When you see this figure, you will say, Roger, Roger. It's a battle droid! Yeah! Alrighty, so we're excited to get these guys into the line. Great army builder. So I've got 2 images here. You can see the images I don't have do not have him folding up, but the figure will fold up. He has the head telescopes out of the body, just like he did in the movie. He has, the backpack is removable, and we have alternate shoulder blades so that you can army build and provide different looks. The antenna telescope out as well, so great versatile figure. We're going to have both of those figures on display in the booth after this panel, and I literally finished right on time.
Right on time. And we're going to do the Q&A later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Star Wars and Marvel. Thank you very much, Patrick. Please give it up for Patrick from Star Wars. Thank you. Give it up for Patrick.
And now give it up for what's coming next, Brian, the Marvel Master.
All right, so let's talk Marvel. We are at Comic-Con after all. So we want to, again, thank you all for coming. Patrick, Irvin, and I were here last year at this very location, London Comic-Con. So this is our 2nd annual appearance, so thank you for coming out to see us again. We had a huge year for Marvel, so many movies, so many announcements. Thank you for keeping up with all the coverage and the reveals, and we're no signs of slowing down for 2019. I just want to send out a quick plug for the hashtag Hasbro Toy Picks. So we know a lot of you guys love to show off your collections, show off your dioramas, your cool poses and photos. So continue using that hashtag for all of your Hasbro toys, especially Black Series and Marvel Legends. I love to mine this for great content, for presentations like this. So keep posting your work, and maybe you'll make it up here on my slide next time around. So this is some of the latest examples that I just pulled down. All right, let's jump into Marvel. So as we know, right, 2018, we're still in the midst of it. This has been the biggest year ever for Marvel. So many films. You guys have all seen these, right? We kicked off the year with Black Panther, which introduced us to Wakanda and the whole new world there. That movie set all kinds of box office records. Love to see more of Black Panther in the future, hopefully. We also had the convergence of everything in Infinity War. Irvin, you saw that, right? What did you think of Infinity War when it finally came together?
Snap. I'm a big fan.
What's going to happen in 2019, we don't even know, so stay tuned. And then we had Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was a great, humorous movie. We got to see Scott back with Ant-Man and the Wasp there, and keep it going. So those were the big MCU films this year. And then we also had the Sony film. So Venom out in theaters now. Tom Hardy bringing that character, a new iteration of him to screen. That's still in theaters. And then we're super, super excited for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first animated feature-length Marvel movie that's going to be coming out around Christmas time. We have a full range of kid products and collector products for this as well. So come by the booth to check out the reel for that.
And I really like it because you can see we have entertainment, but both products for all ages, right? So we've got Venom, which is an R-rated movie, but then we've got also Spider-Man, which is, as you said, PG-rated. So we've got both entertainment and both products for everyone right there. showing the breadth of our range.
That's right, Irvin. And if that wasn't enough, we also had another friend in 2018, right? Don't forget about Wade. Deadpool 2. Great to see Cable and Domino on the screen for the first time. And then Ryan Reynolds here on his Instagram teased some, future news this Christmas with the scene that was never before seen. So maybe there'll be more Deadpool news for Christmas. Who knows? Part of having all this great entertainment, right, we were able to activate fantastic product lines for fans of all ages, as Irvin said. So here's a quick look at our movie lines for this year. So starting it off with Black Panther, we had great role play. We had Black Panther's vibranium claws. We had Shuri's gauntlet. We had feature masks, feature figures. Super fun line for Black Panther. Moved across to Infinity War, of course. We had the Nerf Assembler gear line, which is powered by Nerf, and you can assemble your customizable weapon. You can make the ultimate Avengers weapon here. We had more Titan figures. We had new 6-inch figures. The Titan figures are powered by the new Titan FX backpacks. We also had play sets and Hero Vision as well, so big year for Avengers. Moving on to Ant-Man and the Wasp, even though it is the smallest of films because they shrink down, we had a fun line here, really focusing. Thanks, Patrick. I try. Really highlighting the Wasp here. This is the first time that a female superhero has co-headlined a movie. So we had tons of Wasp action and feature figures, masks, Legends, and Titans as well.
I personally love that mask, that Ant-Man mask.
It's a great mask.
Where you can actually have different ways to how you see. With a fisheye kind of look, and then have like a small, like the wasp look.
That's right.
Really
It's
cool
3-in-1.
Yeah.
3-in-1. And then rounding out the year, as I mentioned, we're so excited for Into the Spider-Verse coming out soon. We have, really celebrating a lot of the characters in that Spider-Verse, from Spider-Man Noir and his web blaster there, to Spider-Ham, to SPDR. Can't wait to see these guys on screen. This awesome line as well. And then wanted to touch quickly on Mighty Mugs. We launched Mighty Mugs actually for the first time here in London, so we still have more mugs coming out this year. This is the most expressive collectible that Hasbro has ever made. It's across Marvel and Star Wars. Each figure features 3 different expressions, so you see, happy, sad, angry, smirking. We have a great line of all the characters from this year, from Thanos to Ant-Man and the Wasp, to Spider-Ham, Miles Morales, and even Venom and Deadpool. So go out and get those mugs. We have 2 global convention exclusives for sale in the Hasbro booth. The first up is based on the Netflix shows. Irvin, have you watched any of those?
All of them.
All of them?
And I can't wait to see the end of the 3rd season of the Daredevil.
I know, I'm 3 episodes into Daredevil Season 3 as well, and can't wait to finish it. So, this is our Defenders Rail Authority. It comes in what us Americans would term a subway car. Here, this beautiful deluxe packaging, it's really shiny.
And I love this. That's exactly a scene from the Entertainment Ride.
Yep, when they're all riding in the subway there. So, here you've got the 4 core Defenders. You've got Daredevil with an all-new Matt Murdock unmasked head sculpt. You've got Luke Cage for the first time. You've got Jessica Jones without her jacket. And then for the first time, we have Danny Rand, the Iron Fist there on the right side with his glowing fist. And then we have Colleen Wing as well for the first time ever. So a great 5-pack of Defenders figures. Go pick this up in the booth.
I'm just going to say that I've never told you this. This reminds me of that secret scene in Avengers where you have all the superheroes eating a burger. The secret scene after
the shawarma scene, yeah.
So if you can make that happen, having a restaurant scene and all that eating a burger, this is my request in the London MCM.
All right, so maybe you'll see a shawarma global convention exclusive next year. But until then, we have one more item for sale. This is really celebrating the Marvel Studios' first 10-year celebration, which has been going on this year. And as you can see here, it's based on Captain America. So we love this film. This is one of my personal favorites. 2011, Captain America, the First Avenger. First time we saw Cap and Red Skull battle it out on the big screen. This is celebrating the villain in that movie, actually, the Red Skull. So for the first time, you get the long trench coat version of the Red Skull with his little Tesseract accessory, but what my favorite part about this is that it comes with a life-size, battery-powered, LED, glowing, pulsating Tesseract, so you can hold the power of the Infinity Stone in your hand.
You can actually hold it here in London.
Yeah, come check it out at the booth. It's really fantastic. It comes in a super deluxe collectible package that you can take the Tesseract out and put it back in for display. It's got some great, sketches and bio on the inside as well, really bringing that flavor of the movie out. So those are our 2 global convention exclusives. As I mentioned, 2018 is a huge year for Marvel Studios, celebrating 10 years of blockbuster films. We actually are through 20 films, can you believe it, since 2008. It all started with Iron Man 1. We've made it through 20 films through Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we've got 2 more films that will wrap up Phase 3. We have, Captain Marvel coming out next year, as well as the still untitled Avengers 4 film. So I'm going to go ahead and play you a quick clip of this. What's fantastic about this line is that we have 10 items and they each focus on a different film from that whole time span. And then if you collect all of the packages, they will make a complete concept art mosaic of sorts. So I'll just play this for you right now. That is the, you guys like it, Marvel Studios line? We did a Hasbro toy pick campaign earlier this year and partnered with some great photographers, and they each focus on a different figure. But as you can see, what's great about this line is that it gave us the opportunity to go back and do figures that we missed the first time around. Figures fans have wanted for many years now. So characters such as the Red Skull, Mandarin from Iron Man 3, Ronan the Accuser from the first Guardians film, Crossbones from Captain America Civil War, and Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man. Irvin, who's your favorite new character out of this series here?
I like the Hulkbuster Hulk.
Hulkbuster, that is a great set. It's huge, and that's actually a great point because the Hulkbuster was a build-a-figure that you needed to buy 8 figures in 2015 to build him, but here you could just pick him up. He's already assembled, and he comes with a new Dark Hulk from when he's possessed by the Scarlet Witch, and they just duke it out all day in that pack together.
So I have a question because you work on these are amazing. What is your favorite? What is your favorite character?
My favorite. It's easy to pick a new character like Ronan that we've never done, but a low-key favorite here is the Captain America one because everyone says, yes, you guys do a new Captain America every movie. That's generally true, but what's great about this Captain America is it has an all-new Chris Evans photoreal, as we discussed the great photoreal advancement. It has a new photoreal Cap with his helmet on, and then we have a completely unmasked, and I think it's the best iteration of Chris Evans that we've ever done, and we even went so far as to update his shield. So for the first time, Cap's shield has those inner scribe lines that is movie accurate.
And you guys have been saying this a lot, photoreal, this is a great innovation for our toy line, but can you just take a couple of minutes, sorry I'm jumping on your presentation, I know, but take some time to explain to our crowd here what is photoreal and how that works and how you work with that?
So yeah, a little bit more about that. We're constantly looking to improve our product in any way we can, whether that's sculpt, articulation, or deco particularly. So, our partners in HFE came to us with this potential advancement, and it's a new process that allows us to create the most authentic and accurate and lifelike actor likenesses. So if it's like a humanoid character, we can really add skin tone, we can make the eyes much more expressive, things like facial hair, battle damage, and what we do is we work very closely with our partners at Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm to get great reference, and then we translate that reference of the actual actors onto the figures. Anything to add there?
Yeah, I think it's been great across both lines. It's taken kind of what was the biggest pain point for fans, seeing some nodding heads again, like that base deco, and turning it into a point of strength. We loved it so much, we're bringing it to the vintage collection as well for 2019, and we're in constant conversations with our entire team about what's the next area we can do this with to continue making the figures better and better. So, thanks for the little cameo in your part, Ryan.
Yeah, teamwork. Teamwork.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
All right, and so we're going to move on, right? You've seen this in our booth, the Infinity Gauntlet. Everyone loves this item. Thanos himself, Josh Brolin, even some of the other actors who didn't get to wield the power, they love it themselves too.
And I wanted you to give some credit for this, because you work on this. This is amazing. I personally love it, but we're not the only ones saying this is a great toy. We've got someone who loves it as well.
We have a special guest here.
A special guest who said, actually, this is the best toy ever made.
So that's right, Irvin. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, the man who has control of it all and been in there from the beginning, he actually gave this interview, and this is what he had to say about our little old Legends Infinity Gauntlet.
This is the greatest toy that we've made. This is Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. Pretty cool.
Hey, that's high praise from the man himself. I'm not going to argue.
Thank you, Ryan. And give it up to Ryan for this great product.
Thank you very much. This is the greatest toy that we've made, and that is pretty cool. He also said that.
You are cool.
Pretty cool. So you also see this in our booth. We, in addition to the Infinity Gauntlet for our premium roleplay line, we have the Black Panther electronic helmet coming out just about now, really celebrating that great film from earlier this year. This is a full-scale, helmet with all that great sculpting and intricate details. You've got the eyes that can open and shut with the press of a button, and then it has, of course, the LED vibranium-powered effect that it really glows. So come check that out, try it on, have some fun in our booth as well. Speaking of Black Panther, the first Black Panther Legends Wave was a huge success. We couldn't wait to do more, so we're going to rush these out by the end of this year sometime. This is Black Panther Wave 2. We revealed this in San Diego. So this is an all-movie Build-A-Figure wave. We have M'Baku, leader of the Jabari tribe, as the Build-A-Figure, and then we've got some great new characters, right? We've got Ulysses Claw for the first time on the far right there with an arm cannon. We've got the military look of Eric Killmonger with his tribal mask. We've got another of the Dora Milaje. We even got Black Panther's father, T'Chaka, in the middle there, as well as two new versions of Black Panther that are going to have Chadwick Boseman alternate heads. So a fantastic movie wave later this year. I'm going to quickly go through some of the 2019 reveals we've done thus far. So in our first and second Avengers Legends waves this year, we put out Thanos as a Build-A-Figure. He was also in our 10th anniversary line. We had Proxima Midnight there and the big bad guy, Cull Obsidian. He was the Build-A-Figure for Wave 2, but everyone's been asking, Hasbro, where's the rest of the Black Order? Are you only going to do 3 of them? So in New York, we said, no, rest assured, coming in 2019, you will be able to complete the Black Order as you saw them in Infinity War. So we have on the left there, Corvus Clave with his trademark spear staff there. Great fight scene with Scarlet Witch and Vision in that film. And then we're also bringing Ebony Maw out as well, doing the right? The really creepy scientist guy. We're not saying where these items will go necessarily, but they will be out in some form or another in 2019. So look out for them. We also, are super excited. This is the next big film coming out. The trailer dropped recently, Captain Marvel. It looks fantastic. It's taking us back to the 90s. We get to see a two-eyed, younger Nick Cage, Nick Fury, I should say, for the first time.
Too many Nicks.
Too many Nicks. Mace Windu, right? So, in addition to the movie figures, we revealed just 2 of these 2 days ago at Paris Comic-Con. We've got a comic-inspired Genis Vell there in his Kree costume. We also have a French Marvel villain, supervillain, in the Grey Gargoyle. And then the build for this wave is going to be the Kree Sentry, the big purple robot on the right there.
I was going to say, I really like how you revealed in Paris Grey Gargoyle, who's a French character. So I wonder what we're going to reveal today.
Oh, do you think there's some British characters in the Marvel? There could be. That's a good tease for later. And thank you. We also have Spider-Man Wave 1. This Build-A-Figure is one of our favorites coming out next year. Fans have been wanting him for years. He's actually on display in the booth, but I thought I'd give you a look at one of the assets we developed based on the 3D sculpt, just to get kind of set the mood. So of course this is Wilson Fisk himself, coming out in 2019.
Just the music gives me the goosebumps.
There you have it, a Kingpin. He's a massive figure. He is going to be anchoring our Wave 1 for Spider-Man next year. We unveiled several of the other figures earlier this year. We've got a modern Silver Sable there, as well as a modern Black Cat with a really cool whip accessory. We've got the new Symbiote Spider-Man and Red Goblin for any of you Spider-Man fans out there. Dan Slott's last run on The Amazing Spider-Man. Go Down Swinging, it was called. So it introduced Norman Osborn merging with Carnage symbiote, and he turned into the Red Goblin. So we have those 2 figures to battle out amongst themselves. And then a classic 90s comic book character, Night Thrasher. He was leader of the New Warriors. He comes complete with batons, backpack, and an actual skateboard that he can stand on and ride around on. We've got 2 more figures to be revealed in a few days at Luca Comic Con, so stay tuned for that. We have a few comic 2-packs coming out that we revealed. So on the left there, we have Hydra Supreme and Arnim Zola, based on this latest run when timelines got messed up and Steve Rogers was actually in Hydra all along. So that's the Supreme Leader Cap there. And then we have a classic Spider-Man and Kraven 2-pack from the Kraven's Last Hunt. Very famous, very beloved storyline from back in the day. So an updated classic Kraven with a new face sculpt. You know, he's really menacing looking, and he has that classic costume as well. So more comic 2-packs coming. We were up north, for us anyways, in Canada earlier this year, and we revealed these. We're not saying where they're going necessarily, but Wendigo will be a Build-A-Figure in some wave, and then we'll also have Guardian from Alpha Flight coming out, as well as Mystique, a really classic X-Men villain. You know, the first time we've done a classic Mystique in 6-inch Legends. So this is our little journey. You know, Patrick and I and the rest of the Hasbro team, we sit in Rhode Island, which is the smallest state in America, and this is a look at our office in the center there. We have Mr. Potato Head. You know, we have the Dunkin' Donuts Convention Center. I probably have never heard of it, but the Boston Bruins minor league hockey team plays there. So
It's
maybe
beautiful.
but so, you know, it's basically the same place from Rhode Island to London. You guys have a lot of similar type of things, you know.
Sorry, that's not true.
It's not true?
Compare Rhode Island to London.
Oh.
That's not possible, mate. Come on, London, let's make some noise here. Is it the same?
We are so happy to be here, get us out of Rhode Island. Thank you for having us. So we thought, let's do some local reveals. So last year, in this very auditorium or close by, we unveiled the Black Knight figure, and of course we've had Captain Britain previous years ago. So we'll try to give you guys another, you know, local. How about that? So as you know, Halloween is right around the corner. Get your trick-or-treating ready. Here I brought my friend Jack-O-Lantern from 2016 to help us. But in the spirit of Halloween, I went back to find an old issue, Captain America 253, Return of Baron Blood. Does anyone remember kind of what was going on back in this issue? So Baron Blood is this vampire, very, you know, on theme for Halloween. But basically what happened here was that Captain America happened to be traveling in England, and he had to fight Baron Blood, and someone came to his defense to step in. And that is Joey Chapman as the Union Jack. The aptly named Union Jack, might I add. So, yes, Union Jack is he's been a West Coast Avenger, he's been a great superhero. We actually did a Union Jack figure 10 years ago, but we thought 10 years is too long. We need a new updated version of Union Jack. So for the first time in the Avengers assortment in 2019, all new updated Union Jack. Pretty sweet here.
Yeah!
He's got all his pouches and his belt there. He's got his trademark weapons there, so a really fun figure. He's one of our design team's favorites, so can't wait to get him out in the line. How about one more?
Yeah,
one more local one?
I think the crowd deserves the second reveal.
All right, this one, and please indulge me, like, you know, we love comics, we love backstories and lore, so this one takes a little bit of a setup, but if anyone remembers Citizen V, this was, you know, I had to look this up, I actually didn't remember this. So Citizen V was part of the V Battalion, John Watkins, right? He was part of the British intelligence, and they kind of fought evil back in World War II. So he was a great hero from back in the very, very early days of the comics. So he actually fought the 12th Baron Zemo, Heinrich Zemo, and unfortunately Zemo got the better of him, so you know John had to kind of go away there. But not all is good for villains, because Heinrich Zemo got his comeuppance later on when he was fighting the Avengers and Captain America, and then he, you know, met his untimely end. So then what happened, like, why am I telling you all this? Well, Heinrich Zemo's son, the 13th Baron Zemo, Helmut Zemo, right, is now ascended to become one of Captain America's core adversaries over the years. And so we did this great Baron Zemo comic figure in 2014 as part of the Winter Soldier line. But, as you comic fans I know are well aware, Baron Zemo had another alternate ego, right? When he led a team, which they were first disguised as heroes, but then they later revealed themselves to be villains, the Thunderbolts. Baron Zemo led this under the guise of a new mantle. Does anyone know what his name was? Citizen V, it's right there. We've been talking about it for 5 minutes. So here is Citizen V, Baron Zemo, an all-new version. He's got a newly tooled kind of sword there. He's got that trademark shoulder pads. This is Citizen V to start your Thunderbolts team. We have Songbird from earlier this year in the Avengers wave. Hopefully we'll get to do the rest of the Thunderbolts sometime.
I'm always amazed by your knowledge with comic books. So, for me, commoner, let me get it straight, right? So you have a good guy who's called Citizen V.
That's right.
Fighting a bad guy who's called
Baron Zemo.
Yes. Baron Zemo wins and kills Citizen V.
That's correct.
But then the Avengers kill Baron Zemo.
Correct.
But then his son, who's also called Baron Zemo.
They're not very creative, but
Yeah,
yes.
right?
Yep.
and then he dies as well. No, he basically then transforms into a new villain called Citizen V, because he was his father's
adversary. I know, like, can you imagine, like, the gall of him to take the name of someone his father kind of dispatched? So this is all great comic stuff, right? This is why we love being here.
We don't have this stuff in Star Wars.